Looks like we're live.
We might be live, or we're just talking to each other.
We'll find out soon enough, I guess.
Possibly. Hello? I think there's a couple starting to jump on, so...
Yep.
It looks like we are. So hello, everyone, and anyone and everyone who may join a little bit later. It is Tuesday, June 23rd.
Man, it's almost July already. That's crazy.
Yes. Yes, it is. So...
Oh, boy. Where did the time go?
What do we got going on today? Well...
I know we wanted to talk a little bit about the how this is the last week of the orders for the current packet.
Yep. So I guess let's go ahead and get started with that. As we sort of mentioned in our little teaser on the post, this week, this Friday, the June packet closes. So if anybody's on the fence about pre-ordering something, now's the time to get it into your dealer. That packet includes the Bombardier cars, the GP15s, the updated Genesis P42s, second run C26, C26A. Were there any C27s in this announcement?
Yeah, the CSX cars are C27s.
Okay. So then C26, C26A, and C27 ICC Cabooses for B&O, Chessie, and CSX.
Mm-hmm.
The Genesis ACF 4600 covered hoppers, the RTR 20K tank cars, and then in-scale 4600 covered hoppers and Bombardier cars. For those of you wondering and asking or going to ask, we are still diligently working to get the license agreements in place with VIA and Go Transit. We still are essentially waiting for their teams to get back with us. We have really no update on that end. We do not have a signed agreement, so that is why the items have not gone live on the website. However, we still encourage you to place a pre-order with your dealer. And whenever the announcement goes live or we get the licensing agreement in place, rather, the pre-orders can be submitted from your dealer to us at Athearn and Horizon Hobby, and we can fulfill the order as usual. I'm sure whenever we get something, we will let everybody know so that the announcement is good. And if you do want to place a pre-order after that point, you can still do so. So look for us to get an announcement out whenever we hear something. We do not know when that will be. We hope it is sooner rather than later. So still, I still encourage everyone to place a pre-order as normal, and then we'll just let you know. That's the best we can do. So.
Yep. We really hope that. So.
So let's see. So yeah, the packet closes on this Friday. Get your pre-orders in. A lot of good stuff in this packet. And we are still diligently working with some of our friends of Athearn on some artwork revisions and taking that very closely to heart and trying to get the artwork updated to meet the demands of you guys, the customer. So,
yeah, when we get some of those artwork revisions done, I'll be sure to put them up on Facebook for you guys to see. It does take a while to go through those because the art department is working on the next packet right now. So we didn't want to slow them down too much by giving them a bunch of stuff to do right in the middle of that. But hopefully they have some more time to do it in the next couple of weeks. So,
right. Like Janek sort of mentioned, I mean, we still have to make artwork for the product moving forward, so that we can continue with the next month's announcements. So whenever the art team does get that freed up, we will get back to the revisions and get them updated. So give us a little bit of time. Your comments have not gone unheard. We are doing the best that we can with the time that we have. So
yeah. Okay.
So what else we got going on, Janek? I believe that you mentioned you wanted to give us all a little bit of a teaser for next month.
Yeah. Seems like one of the #1 requests that I've been seeing on Facebook and on these videos is for more Illinois Central Gulf items in general. Whenever we do those items, they're really popular. We just recently did some box cars, I think 40 foot. And we've done the locomotives in the past, but people keep bringing up to us, why haven't you guys done Illinois Central Gulf GP38-2s in the orange and white or in the orange and dark gray? And I didn't really have a good answer for that until I started looking into it. And apparently the units that were originally Illinois Central Gulf, they have a couple parts that we don't have, specifically doors over the prime mover. That was a feature specific to that railroad, and it's just not a feature that we have tooled up right now. So I said, oh, well, looks like we can't do those. And then I remembered to myself, wait a minute, what about the GM&O units? We've done GM&O before. Why couldn't we do those? So with that being said, I'll give you guys a little bit of a peek here of what we have coming up for the next round of announcements.
So are those doors you're talking about on top of the hood, are those the power assembly doors?
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of like what Sioux Line had, I think, but not exactly the same.
Okay. So
it's something that we should look into, but...
So kind of like a late model EMD SD series, like SD60s and such, and heck, even on the roof of SD80 Max.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that being said, let me share my screen here.
Ooh.
Now, go ahead.
I just said orange and white ones. Nice.
So disclaimer, this is pre-production artwork. It is, of course, subject to revision. And in fact, we're going over the artwork right now with our good friend Dan Kohlberg. He's very interested in looking at these, and he's given me a lot of great information. So
good.
As you guys can see, we got the orange and white Illinois Central Gulf here. This is the 9563. It was an ex-GM&O unit. And according to Dan, this one lasted quite a while. I don't remember exactly how long it lasted, but it was into the 1980s with this basic look. And we're doing sort of the freshly repainted configuration. And what I mean by that is that they haven't cut the corners of the pilots yet, and they still have the as-built cut levers. That's an easy thing to change if you're a modeler who wants to model a later version, but we decided to stick with the freshly repainted version here.
Okay.
So, like I said, pre-production artwork, but so far we're pretty happy with what we got so far. And I can tell you guys we're going to offer 2 road numbers for this paint scheme. I don't want to go too far into the details, but we will be offering additional versions as well. But you'll have to wait until the announcement goes live to see those.
Uh-oh, cliffhanger.
Let me see if I can do a quick zoom in here and show off a little bit more. I really like the stickers we got down here on the sill. Got the Save Fuel Protect the Environment sticker there, which is, I think, off of a Santa Fe engine. This was 1970s. This was the middle of the fuel crisis. So, you know, railroads were trying to do everything they could to save fuel, including putting a sticker right there next to the fuel filler. So,
hey, pay attention. Very nice.
Yeah. So there's the Illinois Central Gulf X GM&O GB38-2. This is a real early phase unit. I think they were just called a phase 1 with the wide space fans.
Yep.
And these will be announced with the next packet, which I believe it'll be at the end of this week, right, Matt?
You know, that's a good question.
I think they do it on the last Friday.
Yes. The next packet is this coming Friday. So the June packet closes this Friday, and the July packet goes live this Friday.
Okay.
And I'm cheating. I'm looking at everything that's coming up. There's some exciting stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah. Make sure that you guys are signed up for the Athearn newsletter. If you're not, that's the best way to see our new packet releases.
Definitely.
You'll definitely see them there before you see them on Facebook or even the website sometimes. So,
right. I'm looking at the sheet for the GP38-2s. You're right. There's some good stuff coming.
There's some meat on them bones. Yeah.
Yep. Our friend George at Soundtracks is going to be happy with one of them.
Oh yeah, George, if you're watching this, you might want to put some money aside for next week.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He'll know what it means.
Oh yeah.
Well, good. Sounds like some exciting stuff coming.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to, I don't want to give away everything, but I do want to show you guys that we are listening to the requests. This has been one of our probably top 3 requests that I've seen. And so we want to do right by what you guys want. And these have never been offered in Genesis before. So it's about time.
Right. And just to sort of clarify, these are still Genesis models. These are not Genesis 2.0.
Right.
But these have the rubberized pilot hoses, so the MUs and the train lines.
Mm-hmm.
These have LED headlights front and rear. And these have the sound equipped models have the dual cube speaker assembly that we have been utilizing in our new models and have updated some of our older models too.
Yeah.
So really we'll let that non-turbocharged 645 prime mover on the Tsunami 2 really sound good. So.
Oh yeah, it sounds really good with those cube speakers. So these are going to put the old ones to shame as far as the sound quality.
So good news.
So, yeah, I will stop sharing here, and that was really all I had. Not all I had, but the main thing I wanted to share today.
Well, then I guess let's open it up to the part that everybody likes. We'll have a little bit of extra time today for everybody's question and answers. So let's go ahead and do the question and answer and some virtual rail fanning.
Yeah, no shortage of questions. Oh, wow, look at that. They're busy.
So first, let's start off with the virtual rail fanning. We are in Belen, New Mexico, and we want to thank Virtual Rail Fan for allowing us to use their streams. So we are on the Santa Fe Southern Transcon, which is now BNSF, of course.
Mhm.
And it looks like we have, I think that's westbound, a westbound stack train, intermodal train headed out. So it looks like a lovely day out in Berlin. So
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
let's see what kind of questions and comments we got coming in. If we're watching the comments, and so if anybody wants to send us a question, we'll do what we can to get to them. So
Yeah, we got quite a few.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Philip, next time you do NS SD70 ACEs, will you please do number 1030? That was one of the ones that they numbered for the heritage units, correct? I think it was.
Yeah, I think we've done that one. I think it was 1030 on one number board, and it had two different number boards. That's what I remember about it. It was technically a heritage unit, I think.
Right, right.
But we could do it again. We could. It's been a while, so.
Right. There's been a lot of requests for heritage units in general, so definitely paying attention to that whenever we make another announcement of SD70 ACEs. So,
yeah.
Here's our weekly reminder, Janek. P42 in phase 4 and the rest of the heritage units, plus Genesis GE P40 DCs. So P40 DCs shouldn't be a problem. P42s in phase 4 and the other heritage units shouldn't be a problem.
Nope.
And we'll just go ahead and make a mark on the calendar that we were reminded for California cars this week. So we got you down, Patrick. Let's see. Oh, here you go, Janek.
SPSF SD75Ms, huh?
So would that be in speed lettering?
Well, you know, if that merger had went through, I would not be surprised if they ended up buying those locomotives. But
right now, wasn't there a tunnel motor that got painted in SPSF, but it was it black, or was that an SP black tunnel motor? I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about. It was a telemotor. I think the merger had just been denied, and SP was really counting on that merger to go through because they were in pretty bad shape financially. And once they found out that it had been denied, then they wanted to sort of try to redo their corporate image. And I saw photos of that unit. It was actually inside of a paint shop, and it actually never saw the light of day. But
right. I was going to say, those are the only photos that exist of it that basically got it done and then had to blast it.
Yeah, it was all black with the red wings and then the white SP on the side. It was pretty cool looking.
Right. Let's see here. Well, you ruined it, Noah. The GG1 comments are not quiet now.
I'm surprised no one's asking for old rivets or something.
Yeah. Richardson grain cars. So which grain cars are those? I'm trying to think, Janek. I was having a brain fade.
The pink ones, the pink FMC cars, or am I thinking of something else? I'm thinking of something else. Yeah,
and see, I was thinking of the green cars, which are in Cobrassa now that I think about it. So I'd have to look for the Richardson grain cars. If it's a prototype that we can do, we'll definitely throw it on the list there.
It's a Trinity.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Have we done them before?
Well, that's a good question.
Depends if it's on the 5161, I guess.
Yeah, it's being offered by Pacific Western Rail Society. But
Oh, if it's one of those, then it's one of the new NSC, National Steel Cars.
Yeah, it's not our car. So
Right. All right. Patrick Kelly, Rio Grande SD50 with nose lights. So I would love to do Rio Grande SD50s with nose lights. I would love to do SD60s with nose lights. I would love to do SD60s and SD50s with ditch lights. I would love to do all the variations of SD50 and SD60s that we haven't done. However, the tooling that we have limits us to only what we have, and the tooling that we have is out exists out of aluminum, and our factory or any tool shop for that matter doesn't like modifying aluminum, and so we're basically stuck with what we have unless we cut all new tooling, which, don't get me wrong, I would love to cut all new tooling, but we're sort of at a point right now is, where would I rather spend my capital investment? Do I want to spend my investment on new tooling or recreating old tooling? So right now I am opting for creating new tooling. So the SD50 and the SD60 are kind of our back burner, so to speak. So they're just going to sort of stay what they are until we get some of these newer, bigger projects off the schedule. So, but we hear you. We definitely want to, just not in the immediate future. So,
yeah, we've got some brand new stuff coming up that probably going to make a bigger splash. So
yeah. Levi Stevens, UPGP38-2 with yellow sill stripes. What do you think about that one, Janek?
Check the announcement on Friday. Oh, wait, did I say too much?
I didn't hear anything.
All right, well, yeah, hopefully Levi is signed up for the newsletter. And if you're not, then go ahead and do that.
I lost my place in the questions.
Somebody is asking for.
Here we go.
There were a couple of requests for Jeep 39-2s, which I like Jeep 39-2s. At 1:50 p.m., Nick Nowacki, Wisconsin and Southern GP 39-2 in Genesis. Nick, I don't know how many they had, but yeah, I'm interested. So I'm going to look into it.
Hunter Richardson, ever thought of C30-7s? Yes, we have. We've thought about a lot of that stuff. And again, all I'm sort of going to keep saying about that is we have a lot of GEs in the pipeline. So CSX Spirit locomotives, we have a lot of GEs in the pipeline.
Keenan Menard's asking for, oh, we'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. L&N Jeep 9s and Jeep 7s in the original black and cream paint scheme with the correct light package would be nice. I don't think anyone has done L&N Jeep 7s and 9s with the correct lettering. I think you're right about that one. I would have to check with some of the guys in the L&N Historical Society. I know a personal friend of mine, Keith Kittinger, is on the board. I would need to check with him. Or, gosh, I can't remember the other gentleman's name right now. Keith has put me into contact with him. I'll have to reach out and. But we hear you, L&N crowd, and we are hoping to work with the L&N Society to get you some good models. So.
Yeah, I know L&N's one that we haven't done on those yet, but I have seen a lot of requests for it. I think it's worth adding. So. I had one that I was talking about and I lost it. Wait, I'm almost there. Oh, okay, yeah. 1:53 p.m. Keenan Menard is asking for the ONR GMDD GP38-2s, which would be Ontario Northland.
Now I've got one.
Go ahead. So we have a lot of what we need to do those. We could make a pretty good stab at it, but I think there's a couple of key details, especially on the pilot, that Ontario Northland guys would really want to be there, and we need to do some new tooling for that. But definitely something that we're going to be looking into. So
right. Not that we were trying to do anything under the table, but we definitely heard the Canadian modelers with the GMD GP38-2s for Canadian Pacific that actually just got delivered.
Yeah.
So we took a really close look at some other GMD GP38-2s and decided that we shouldn't do them because we did not want to upset any more of our Canadian modeler customers and friends until we have the correct parts. But never fear, that doesn't mean we're not going to do them ever. Right. Whenever we have updates for some additional parts and that type of thing is whenever we look at that type of stuff. So we are currently, taking notes and making a list of bits and pieces for the GMD market, and hope to have some good news for you down the road. We have some other Canadian models coming out later this year that we did some very specific detail pieces for that we're sure you guys will appreciate. So
yeah,
good things come to those who wait.
Definitely.
John Mingus, TP&W GP38-2s.
Yeah, sign up for the announcements and check back on Friday.
What paint scheme though, John? Would you want the red and cream or red and white? I'm not sure what it is. Or would you want one of the other TP&W? Or dare I say the sacrilege of orange and black? So.
And then TP&W had quite a few variations on their logo over the years as well. So my favorite is when they tried to copy the Santa Fe logo, and then that got nixed. But that was a cool logo.
Right. U30CG among the GEs in the pipeline. It's possible. It is definitely possible. Illinois Central EMD E9. Rory's been doing his homework. It's possible, Rory. Friend Rory. We'll have to see what happens. Wisconsin and Southern had 7 Jeep 38s in the early 2000s. Of course, these were renumbered under Watco, but agree these would be worth considering in the Genesis lines. So are those straight GP38s or those GP38-2s? Because if they were the -2s, we could definitely take a look at them. But if they were regular Jeep 38s, it would require more new tooling than we have going for us at this time. So,
right.
Any plans for more modernized Santa Fe war bonnet F7s in Genesis? I am not quite sure what you mean by a more modernized war bonnet. Janek, would you have any idea?
Probably asking for the versions with all the extra grab irons on the sides of the nose and the spark arresters, sort of how they looked into the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've done several runs of those, but they still seem to be hard to find. So I think we should consider those for a future run. I will mention, for anyone who's listening, we have more Santa Fe F units that we're going to be announcing. It is not modernized war bonnet. Well, you know what? He doesn't say what color war bonnet.
That's true.
I'm assuming he means red and silver, but he doesn't say. So I'm going to say, yeah, we've got some more war bonnets coming, but they're not red and silver. And that's all I'm going to say.
Works for me. Rick Lichtenberger, any Cyclops for CP? So,
You mean Triclops?
yeah, Triclops or Cyclops.
That's those one window cab units. Those things were weird.
Yeah. You mean those?
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at that.
Those were announced on March 6th of this year. You can probably still place a pre-order with your dealer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But those have already been announced and pre-orders already taken. So
I see quite a few guys asking for different versions of the SD40. Mostly like rebuilt versions, CEFX, Conrail. We got some more SD40s coming later this year, so we will be looking at that. We'll be looking at those road names, see what makes sense for us to do.
all right. Cyrus, weekly reminder of FEC Jeep 40-2s or Jeep 38-2s in dark blue or retro blue. Got it.
Cyrus, we did a run of 40-2s a while ago. I think it was 15. So yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to find those. They might still be out there, but we should do more soon. I agree.
I don't know if he would have any, but Kevin down at Arnie's might have a lead on a few if he doesn't have any at the shop, because he's a big FEC guy.
If he doesn't already own them for himself, yeah.
Right. The one FEC hoarders in Southern California.
Let's see.
Jacob Mazzy, are you bringing back anything else from the old rail power shells like the SD90Hs? So what is Virtual Railfan doing? We're not watching Railfans anymore.
What? It should be called Virtual Train, I guess, because right now it is Virtual Railfan. We're watching Railfans.
Well, let's look at trains. Anything else from the old rail power shells like the SD90Hs? So if the SD90Hs were to show up, they would not be the old rail power shells. We tested that tooling and it was no good anymore. So I'm not sure if the tooling was run to death before we acquired it, or what the issue is with the tooling. So anything SD90 related, you'll just have to keep an eye on future announcements. So
a lot of that Rail Power Products tooling was pretty rough.
right.
It'd be kind of tough for us to use it as is. We'd have to spend some time on it. So
right.
CSX SD80 Mac Dark Future. Yeah,
Well,
that would be a good one to do.
I'm going to address this one because it's about time for once a month for us to talk about this. At this time, we have no plans to start offering any of our Genesis or RTR product with ESU Loc Sound. We are quite happy with the working relationship that we have with Soundtrax. One of the main reasons that we went with a 21-pin motherboard was so that if a customer wanted an easy solution for ESU Loc Sound, here you go. We have the motherboard provided, already wired up in the model for you. You can buy a non-sound version and install your choice of 21-pin decoder. But for now, we are sticking with Soundtrax because we are happy with the working relationship that we have with Soundtrax. We are not on a contract with Soundtrax. We just enjoy the partnership with them. So,
Miguel Chavez, will there be a N-scale locomotive painted in Metrolink to go along with the N-scale Metrolink cars? Yes. If they're not already out yet, it's probably a month or so away. We have N-scale F59 PHIs that we announced, which should be hitting stores very soon. And we did offer Metrolink, so look out for those.
Genesis 38-2s and DT&I Starburst scheme on a GTW red, white, and blue. So is that just a patched out bicentennial unit, Eddie? Are you familiar with that one, Janek?
I'm going to screw this up, I'm sure, but DT&I and GTW, there were some locomotives that were painted up in one way, but they had the other one's logo on it. So I think it's a GTW painted locomotive with the DT&I Starburst logo on it. And yeah, those would be cool. I'm not sure how long they lasted, but those would be cool.
I had another one that I saw scroll by. They're just coming in so fast.
Yeah. Brian Everett, how about doing something new trailer-wise for semi-trucks?
So I've got a lot of trailers in mind that I would love to do. I think I've even talked to you about a few of them, Janek.
Mm-hmm.
I butt up against time all the time. It's time and capacity. But I have a list. I have a list of some trailers out west that I want to go get that I think would be really cool. I have a list of trailers here in the Midwest that I'd like to go get that I think would be really cool. I even got some detailed photos of one. I didn't get any measurements, unfortunately. Again, it all boils down to time and where my resources are better spent. So I hate to have to do it, but trailers are a lower priority. So not saying no, but it's just one of those things that what's the time cost? So
I think we did tease something back in Train Fest 2019.
What did we tease?
That reefer trailer. We kind of just put it out on display there.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
And he was asking for 70s era trailers, and that definitely fits the bill. So that is something we're working on. I don't know the firm announcement date for that yet, but it is something we're working on.
There's your confirmation, Janek, about the
Okay.
GTW and DT&I. So
that's kind of what I thought. So
do the new Athearn LED 21-pin board work with rice bulbs as well? No, they do not. The grain of rice light bulbs are 1.5 volt, and the output on the LED 21-pin motherboard is 3 volt. So if you hook up a grain of rice light bulb, you will burn out the incandescent light bulb. So do not hook up an incandescent light bulb.
Unless you're trying to replicate a locomotive with the lights burned out, which I've seen, but
Tom Davey, how in the world are you doing, my friend?
Hey Tom, how's it going, man? We miss you.
Any thoughts on second generation GE? Got a lot of thoughts about second generation GE, Tom. Again, it's one of those things that I'm just going to have to stick to my stock answer is I've got a lot of GE in the work, so just keep your eye on the announcements. You too, Dylan. Keep your eye on the announcements for GEs. Western Pacific Jeep 7s with those monster snow plows. So I know that WP had the larger snow plow as well. It's just one of those things I haven't researched very much, but was that the same plow as the UP used on theirs, or was it different? It'd be my luck they were different.
I don't want to say anything because the WP guys would kill me. I don't know if it was homemade or if it was the same plow.
Right.
If it was the same plow, that would be really cool because it would get us a 3-for-1 with the UP Rock Island and the WP.
Right, right. But it's one of those things that I would imagine it was probably home built, and I probably will have to make 3 different plows. So
One for each road number, yeah.
yeah. SD50Fs and CN, Montana Limestone Company and Dakota, Missouri Valley and Western Railroad. SD50Fs would be cool.
Yeah.
SD60, they had 60Fs as well, didn't they, Janek?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd basically be common tooling, and we could do them both. So
Yeah, I think so. I think they'd share a lot of parts. I don't know if the frames were different than a standard 50 and 60. But as far as the trucks and stuff, I think that was pretty much the same. So yeah, interesting.
Zach Pumphrey, I can get you easy access to some B23s and B30s for measurements and proportions if you're serious about doing some -7 stuff. Zach, please reach out to us at help@athearn.com, and they will forward the email to Janek and myself, and I'll be in touch.
Let's see, John. Yep, that's the one I saw. John, I was just working on some of those yesterday. So they're coming up. They're not going to be announced on Friday, but they are coming up pretty soon this year. We're going to do more 4700s. So,
any thoughts on the BNSF high headlight versions for the SD70 Aces? We have other thoughts for BNSF SD70 Aces coming up, but we'll remember the high headlight, and we'll just have to see if those fit in the number series that we will announce later this year or next year. I thought I saw that the Aces might have been pushed to January. Do you know, Janek? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We got to talk about when we want to do those again. There's so much material. There's probably 3 or 4 runs worth of stuff that needs to be done
Right.
now. So
So winter time, it will be cold out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say late this year, early next year. Winter time. Yes, actually, I wanted to talk about this, Joseph.
Good one. Yeah.
Are we shipping parts now? Yes, our customer service and parts and repair center is functioning in Long Beach. I believe that there was a bit of a backlog, so they might not be providing the same quick turnaround. They're still trying to get caught up. But we are active in Long Beach now, so please send an email to help@athearn.com or parts@athearn.com, or call the parts department. The phone number is in our manuals everywhere, I think.
Yeah, on the website as well. So.
Or on the website, and they will be happy to assist you. But we are back operating at Long Beach for parts and service.
And Terry LaFrance is asking about the Santa Fe Iecc Cabooses. I'm going to look that up right now.
So they're still coming. They are currently in production at the factory, and we expect a summertime delivery still. As soon as we get the production samples and review them and give the thumbs up, they'll be on the water. And whenever we get the production samples, we'll be sure to share photos with everybody. We are looking forward to getting them. So,
yep.
I thought I saw, where did it go? And Joel, that same answer for the Santa Fe Cabooses goes for the CA8s as well. They're in production. We're still looking for a summertime delivery of those.
Greg Dixon, when are the new Reefer trailers due? Also, are they going to have sound? Your first question, we don't have a firm date. for those yet. But your second question is kind of interesting. It's not something that I've personally considered. It'd be a little bit tough to get sound into the trailer, especially if you're using track pickup. Putting a battery in there, I mean, that's an option, but that's kind of a high center of gravity. You don't really want too much weight up there if it's on a flat car. So I don't know. We'll think about it.
I was going to say, I know that there have been reefer models, reefer container models that have a 9-volt battery in them, which could help when they're in a well car, but I'm not sure how well that would work in a trailer or not.
Yeah, I've had trouble with QFC trailers. If they are too heavy, then the cars can tip over. So,
right.
Man, it looks a little windy out there in the Lynn. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that's a dust storm or if it's actual precipitation. I can't tell.
Yeah. Huh.
Let's see. John Whalen. Will the SD80 Max be out on time, or are they delayed at all? As far as I know, they are still on schedule for later this year. I have not heard of any delays, and I do not anticipate any delays. So we are hopeful that they will be an on-time delivery for us.
Yeah.
IHB and new retro paint Metra SW1500s. Have I seen the new Metra SW1500 paint scheme? What's it look like?
Yeah. Let us know if you got any pictures. Send them over to Athearn Help.
Yeah, but the IHB, because I know that the new paint scheme on those is pretty slick looking. There are a couple of updates that I'd like to try to get done with those SW1500s and SW1000 models. But it just sort of goes back to what I mentioned previously. I just have to get the development time to work on them. So, Dylan, hush. UP Farmer John stock cars. Are those the tri-level ones? Are those the late ones?
Are they the Hog-X cars? I don't know what those are.
I know that we've had a couple of really close friends of Athearn requesting those. One up there in Chino, and then one down in Oceanside. I'll have to talk to those guys and see if that's the one that they were talking about or not. Who said that we hate passenger modelers?
There was somebody on there who said that, and I was just thinking to myself, not only did we announce the Genesis P42, but think of all the FP7s and passenger GP7s and GP9s that we've done.
And what about the SDP40F?
SDP40Fs, SDP45s.
Yeah.
Those are all passenger engines.
Yep.
I don't know.
Jeep 40P-2?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying, guys. I don't know.
Maybe it's because we're not doing any cars, but.
Well, I know we're working on that too, at least in some areas. So. Yeah, they're asking for Genesis E8s, better than the BLI ones. I'm not going to quote that word for word, but
yeah.
I've never actually. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say there was one up here. I saw something. Oh, that one right there. CSX Flared 70 Mac. I very much want to do these as well. That sort of falls into the upgrade versus new model. I mean, yes, I understand that's a new model for us, but it shares tooling with the model that we currently have. So that one I'm not saying it's a tough sell, because trust me, I would like to produce the model, because you get CSX flared 70 max, you get Alaska Railroad flared 70 max. Then we could do the phase 1 standard SD 70 mac, and there's another phase in there that we haven't done before.
Right. I don't remember what it was, but
And then if we were really ambitious, we would throw the SD 60 mac in there as well. So it would get us some new models, but it's also recreating an existing model that we have produced many times over. But I do know that we had a lot of requests for more modern tooling on those SD70 Max. So it's definitely a little bit higher on our list because of all the new models that we get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to keep that one in our hip pocket and see what happens.
Matt, I'm going to share my screen real quick here. We got some people asking for Athearn anniversary cars. And actually, we did announce one. So I want to make sure that they knew about it. We did announce this car. God, I don't remember exactly when, but this is the 75th anniversary Athearn Cupola Caboose. The part number is RND 7575. Row number is 2021. That is the year of the 75th anniversary. So that's next year. It will be celebrating 75 years in the business. That's a long time.
What? I'm sorry there. I got lost a little bit. Where were you? Somebody was asking about that one?
They were asking for anniversary cars in general.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
A couple people asking about. So just want to let them know, hey, yeah, we did announce one. RND 7575, the Caboose. And so.
And we've got more anniversary cars coming, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. We gotta talk about that a little bit, but I think we should do more than just that. So.
Found it right there.
Maybe an anniversary SD90 Mac or something.
Let's see.
Another run of John Deere Challengers.
Is that the first weekly reminder for ACUs?
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, we'll mark our calendars. Thank you for the reminder.
Let's see. Oh, there's the second one right there.
There we go.
Do you plan on doing more SD90s like the 9043 Max and the SD70 ACU? We would love to. Just have to keep your eyes on the announcements. Utah SD39s and SD45s. Did Utah? I assume you're talking about Utah Railway. Did Utah Railway have SD39s, Janek?
Yes, they did.
They did.
Some former SP beater units, and it wasn't for too long, but they did have them, and they were not repainted. They were gray and red. So
okay, well maybe that's why I wasn't familiar with it. Now I'm gonna have to go find some SP power. I'll let Jack rub that one in my nose.
I'd like to see those myself, but I got a little bit of interest in that railroad, but I'll probably never make a full train. So we got a few more minutes here, so let's take a few more.
Yeah,
comments.
we got about 5 minutes yet. So let's see. Eric Rissman is asking about obtaining parts these days. Is it getting back to normal? So yeah, we mentioned a little bit earlier. It's no problem that you missed it, but we are back in. Well, our customer service department is back in the office at Long Beach. All of our research and development teams are still working from home, but our customer service department is back in the office, answering calls, answering emails, doing repairs, shipping parts, that type of stuff. So you can get a hold of our Long Beach office, help at athearn.com or parts at athearn.com or one of the various phone numbers or through the website, and you should get a response sooner than later. There might be a little bit backlogged still, so just have a little bit of patience with them, but they are in the office. So how about gallery bilevels? Which bilevels are you talking about? Are you talking about Metro bilevels? You're talking about Bombardier bilevels? You're talking about California bilevels?
I'm thinking SP commuter bilevels. Those were called gallery cars.
Or those. See, I'm not a West Coast guy.
Yeah, but any of those would be cool. So.
Oh, geez. CP Rail Blue Robot Car. I don't know what that car is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. Chris, if you got photos, send them our way. Is it a boxcar or something, or what is it? So.
I don't know. So you had me until you said with correct nose and no class lights. Like I was sort of talking about earlier with the SD50 and the low headlight in the nose. The tooling for the SD60, it is what it is. Again, that's very dated tooling. It's made out of aluminum. It's very hard to add new inserts to the aluminum tooling, especially with the tool structure. So it would require all new tooling, and I'm just not there right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've done CSX gray before, but I'm sure they had glass lights, and that's the way it is with the tooling. There's no option to do it without the glass lights. Not yet. Triclops
and Utah belt.
That would be cool, man.
You know, we have been asked numerous times to do Utah belt equipment, but just out of the, at least personally, out of the high respect that I have for Eric Bruman and what he has created, we will not be doing anything without Mr. Bruman's permission. So if we are able to get into contact with Mr. Bruman and get his permission to do Utah belt equipment, or to more or less have a license to do Utah belt, we would be more than happy to do so, but just out of utmost respect, we will not be doing any Utah belt equipment without his permission. Yes, so now that's not to say that it'll never happen, and I'm not a fan because I have a model that is halfway painted for Utah belt tucked away in a box somewhere, but maybe.
Really cool custom stuff too.
Yeah, I'll have to possibly get in talk with Brian Bates if he knows anything, because I think he's on the Utah belt Facebook page. Doesn't mean he knows Mr. Bruman, but anyway.
James Hawkins Jr. is asking for some more SD40 versions. CSX YN1, yeah, SP. Yep, those are both on our wanted list, James, and gotta look at the details and see how close we can get it, because some things people are willing to put up with on an RTR model, and some things they're not. So it just depends.
Right. And let's take about two more here. Amtrak Viewliner baggage cars. I assume that you're talking about the Viewliner 2 baggage cars. If anything, if we were to do the baggage car, we would do the whole Viewliner 2 fleet. It would sort of be kind of dumb for us to not do the entire Viewliner 2 fleet. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple of baggage dorms on the Chief being moved out east.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those were cool.
Let's try to find one more here. CB&Q, Rock Island, and Metro commuter cars with corrugated sides. I have no problem with those. If you have any type of resources for those, photos, measurements, drawings, that type of stuff, please contact us at help@athearn.com, and they'll get you into contact with myself and Janek, and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. I'm not making any promises, but I'm aware of the Metro cars, and I have interest in the Metro cars.
Yeah, ever since we did those Metra F59s, we've had people asking for those.
Right. So if you have any information, please reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do.
All right.
Well, guys, we're just over an hour here. We've enjoyed chatting with everyone, or taking your questions, rather, reading your questions, reading with everyone. I don't know. So we'll be back next week. We plan on Tuesday.
Yep.
But things can come up. So, but if everything goes to plan, we'll see you all next Tuesday. All right. Thanks for joining. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands and have a great week.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure you tune in. We'll have the new announcements to talk about, hopefully. So until then, take care.
All right.